motion to open tonight's meeting.
I make a motion that we open the meeting of the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation on April 24th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Welcome to the Architectural Board of Review and Historic Preservation. My name is Curtis Highsmith. I am your chair. Unfortunately, we do not have Ham Hogue this evening, but we do have Christina Redding, Brian Brady. We'd like to welcome our historic consultant, Zach Studenroth, our legal counsel, Bo Robinson, and as always, Antoinette, thank you for being here as well. We're going to start this evening's meeting with historic applications. And first application, please.
First application is Sunel LLC, 257 Captain's Neck Lane.
Good evening, members of the board. John Bennett for the applicant. Bruce Noggle, the project architect, is here with me this evening, as is Tim Rumpf, who is the landscape architect. There was a presentation by Gary Lawrence, the historian, architectural historian, the last meeting, and we made our presentation. We had some letters of support in the file, and I mean, we're here to answer any questions. I think the board wanted Zach to take a look at the so yes. I don't want to, but obviously I'm here to answer any questions.
Zach, comments?
Yes, well, I did have a chance to look at the designs as submitted, and took a kind of a walk around the site, and I mean, there are unique challenges to this project, given the fact that you're working within the estate area, which enables very large houses, and in some cases, there are existing structures such as this, which was formerly an outbuilding, which are of architectural interest, but are not of compelling architectural interest, and so that presents some challenges. I happen to think that the design of the project as submitted is it's bold, and I think it meets every criteria that we have in our guidelines. In our guidelines, we don't suggest that applicants try to adhere to historical designs, but rather to find creative designs that meet our other criteria, such as compatible scale, materials, setbacks, etc. So I think given all those constraints, this is an exceptional solution to the project, and I think I would certainly recommend it.
Any public comment on the application? Brian, any comments?
No, I was all for it last time.
Christine?
No, I think it's great.
As a prerequisite, obviously, we always have our historic consultant take a look at the project. It's his recommendation to go forward, and we take weight to his recommendation, but with our own personal interest, it seems there's no opposition of this board to go forward. As you're aware, this is an historic district, so we cannot vote on it this evening. It would have to be a written decision. So at this point, you're requesting this board to adjourn for written decision, correct?
If you would.
All right. Anything else from the board?
Yep.
Motion to adjourn for written decision by council.
I make a motion that we adjourn Sunel LLC at 257 Captain's Neck Lane for a written decision by our council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Always, thank you very much.
Next application, please.
Next application is Irene Dickey, 75 Post Crossing. I believe this is closed for written decision.
Council?
It is, and in the file is a written decision approving the application based upon the documents submitted and not amended. And an affirmative vote on the motion would be to approve the application.
Motion to approve council's written decision for approval of 75 Post Crossing.
I make a motion that we approve the council's written decision for Irene Dickey at 75 Post Crossing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next application, please.
Next application is Nigel and Bambi Goodhue, 225 First Neck Lane.
Just reshading the road.
Right.
Good evening. Jose Jimenez of Sargento Engineering for the owner. I have some small. The same, yes. we are proposing to remove the existing roof. The original roof on the house, it's a cedar shingles. Through the years, has been covered with layers of asphalt roofing, and we're proposing to remove everything that is there now and do new cedar shingles. That's on the main house, and then throughout the first floor, there's some flat roofs around the house. You can see on the first page, shows the second plan and shows the little flat roofs. They don't like the fact that every time they look at the window, they look at the flat roof. So we're proposing a very shallow pitch, standing seam, lead coated copper roofing, that when the roof is going to meet the walls, is going to be at 8 inches above the flat roof. So you'll barely see it from the street when it's done, but it will address the issue of them not looking at the flat black roof membrane.
Did you say it was going to be lead coated?
Yes, lead coated copper. Yeah, standing seam.
And there's a pitch.
It's a very shallow pitch. We're going to do like 1 and 12 pitch. It's going to be when the roof meets the wall. It's going to be like 8 inches above the flat roof. So from the street, it's going to be difficult to see it really.
Brian, any other comments?
No, I think it's great that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Christine?
No, thank you for doing it.
Zach, any comments?
No, I'm surprised that those roof pitches got so flat. They could have had a little bit of pitch to it at some point.
Yeah.
And they certainly need that.
Yeah.
And using a tin, fern-coated copper, whatever your metal is good historical.
Okay.
Any public comment on the application? There seems to be no opposition of this board. There's no opposition from the public. However, the property is located in the historic district. As I stated earlier, any property or any application within the historic district requires written decision by our council.
Okay.
So at this time, we will empower him to draft that written decision at our next meeting.
Okay.
It's not necessary that you be here. However, you have the discretion to be here if you wish.
Okay.
Anything further from the board?
No.
So you're at this time requesting this board to adjourn for written decision.
If you would, please.
Motion to approve, a motion to adjourn for written decision by council.
I make a motion that we adjourn the application of Nigel and Bambi Goodhue on First Neck Lane for written decision by our council.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next application.
Next application is Andrew Dodge, 300 Halsey Neck Lane for driveway gates.
Scott Olson, landscape architect with Joseph W. Tyree Landscape Design. And we're proposing automated driveway gates and
As wide as we like.
brick piers.
What's the do you have the percentage of transparency?
A 1 inch.
I'm sorry?
Do you have the percentage of transparency for the lands?
No.
You don't. So these are half-inch openings.
It's a 1 inch space
1 inch.
Okay.
And 3-inch slats.
and 3 inch slats.
And the lanterns, is it a frosted lens or is it clear?
I think we were thinking that it would be frosted. But that was,
It's to be determined.
yeah.
It just says to be determined.
Yeah,
so I don't-
it was unclear, but
So
We have to
you're
determine what to do.
you're stating
you could make it
frosted?
frosted, sure.
Ryan, any comments?
Well, the transparency is not what we like to see in terms of being closer to 50%. So that would be the only objection I would have. I think the design of the gate is beautiful.
Thinner slats. Maybe 2 inch.
Yeah.
Do you understand what he's?
So you want the,
We like to have 50% transparency in gates so that you can see through them, and therefore your ratio of 3 inch to 1 inch doesn't make that.
okay.
And you are paneled with the whole bottom, which doesn't support that as
So you-
well, so.
You take the whole square footage of the entire gate and get 50%?
That's
Or,
what you tried to shoot for that,
Okay.
yeah. Basically, we're just trying to get transparency through it. So you just need to open it up a little bit.
okay.
Just don't want the state section or any section of the village having the appearance of having stockade fences. And
Gotcha.
all that.
Okay.
Christine, any comments?
Yeah, I agree. Like to see a little bit more transparency.
Rule of thumb, 1.5 spacing. It's usually rule of thumb.
For the opening gaps?
Correct.
Okay.
Any public comment on the application? All right. We would need to see that demonstrated on your plans. So this board's not prepared to vote on the application this evening. Are you requesting it to adjourn so you can prepare your next?
Yes.
Motion to approve applicant's request to adjourn.
I make a motion that we approve the applicant's request to adjourn to our next meeting on Andrew Dodge
On
for
the
the
8th.
driving gates.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you know
Thank
when the drawings have to be resubmitted?
They would have to be resubmitted I'm sorry. The next meeting's the 8th, so within the 8th, before the 8th.
Before the 8th? Okay, great, thank you.
That concludes our historic applications for this evening. First application, non-historic.
First application is Santiago
Actually, we can't call it
Trigo.
into order, unfortunately. Is the applicant present or a representative?
Because
Okay.
you recuse on this one.
Yeah.
Representative is not present, correct? Okay, so we can't call it into order anyway. I just wanted, we don't have the quorum.
Yeah, you have a quorum to call it to order, but you don't have a quorum to vote.
He's recused.
He's recused on the decision, but he's
Okay.
not recused as a member of the board tonight, so.
I don't have to recuse till after it's called to order.
Not a problem. Motion to adjourn then.
Make a motion that we adjourn the application of Santiago Trigo on Flying Point Road.
We don't have a quorum to
Well,
adjourn it.
what he's stating is that we.
You have a
get
quorum to vote
To
that.
vote, open or close the,
Okay,
I.
Okay.
because we didn't the last 3 times.
Yeah, actually, you had removed
That's-
yourself out of that room at that time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next application, please.
Next application is Buzz Chew Chevy.
It's just door.
I thought the signs were too big or something.
Okay.
For the application, John David Rose, architect, 5 Main Street, Southampton, New York. I have for you the affidavit of mailing, affidavit of posting, which a copy should be in your file.
It is.
You have everything already, Curtis? Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Do you want me to take these then? Yeah?
Thank you.
You may recall that several months ago, we were in front of your board. GM had asked us to redesign the building in a more, in keeping with the more modern style buildings you've seen at other GM dealers. There was a pretty aggressive color scheme and some fenestration changes, getting rid of some of the pitched roofs. And you may also recall that the board was definitely against it. And as the architect of record, I thank you for that. We went back to GM and explained to them that that's just not possible. They came back to us and said, okay, we understand. We'd like to make some changes to the interior, which this board is not normally interested in. But we'd like to make a couple very minor changes to the exterior, and that's why we're here tonight. And I say very minor. I'm happy to report that when they're done, I don't know that anybody would notice them. I can make it very quick and simple. This window right here becomes a door, just like that door. This gable here pulls forward. Not flush with this, but it pulls forward. That's it. The space on the side becomes enclosed, but the roof is already there, so the roof doesn't change. So we're adding 325 square feet.
And that garage door stays as it's pulled forward?
These two here turn into habitable space,
The one in the front, though?
and then this one stays, and as this pulls forward, you'll see it in this package that we've changed a little bit.
Okay.
We closed it off and it's ready. And the boundary over there, a window on the side there.
Okay.
It's in here.
Actually, it's nicer.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So much nicer than the last time.
Good.
Brian, comments?
Fine.
Christine?
No, great.
Any public comments on the application? Okay, motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the application of Buzz Chu Chevy Cadillac at 656 County Road 39.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for your time.
Next application, please.
Next application is Wickapog Realty 1 LLC. They're all here. Okay, let's check.
Just a small one, or is this new?
Yeah, they're larger in the file, that's just so
Okay,
they
I
can
just
see
need
them.
to stamp it if it's not, that's the only reason I asked.
These are replication of what we have in here, correct?
Right,
Small
except the
versions.
rendering. The rendering's new.
Okay, fine.
Name and record, please.
Michael White, 44 Pulaski Street, Southampton, New York. I believe it was last month, at the meeting, we did 127 Wickapog Road, and it was approved. It was a farmhouse. It was white, to keep the character of Wickapog Road with the white farmhouses. This is basically a white shingled farmhouse with the clapboard on the upper gables. Very simple landscaping like a farmhouse, like the character of the rest of the houses that are in that area. If you see in front of the post and rail fence, there's going to be a privet hedge there. That's going to be 4 foot high, no gates. There's going to be privet running down the right side also, but we didn't include that so you could see the actual house. The front door is going to be a dark gray. It's going to have a wood roof. Basically, that's it. It's a swimming pool and a one-car garage.
So this is next door to the one you presented?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is to the west.
Christine, comments?
No, I think it fits in nicely.
Brian?
Just a quick question. Typically in farmhouses, you would see square columns or turn columns, and these just look like
They're square.
they are square. Okay,
Yeah.
in the rendering they look more round. So, but in the drawing they look square. So,
Yeah, no, you're correct, because they did the same thing on the other one, too. I don't know why they keep making them round, the render.
okay, that's good.
Like, they make round columns.
Anything further?
No,
No, I think it's
Any
fine.
public comment on the application?
Chair, I have a question.
Sure.
And I'm seeing this happening more frequently, and I'm wondering why, with such a shallow pitched roof on the core, which is historically covered with something more durable than a wood shingle, is that pitch enough for wood shingle, first? And secondly, aesthetically, that looks odd. Because typically the porch roofs are covered with tin. tin membrane. And so that's really an aesthetic issue, but I guess structurally, the real question becomes, is that shallow pitch sufficient to shed the water with the wood shingles?
Yeah, it's enough. I mean, we're not gonna put lath there. We're gonna have to put plywood and a membrane underneath
I
it
see.
and put the wood shingles. Definitely could
Okay.
put wood shingles. I put wood shingles because the house two over has a metal roof. And I tried it, and last time, the question was on 127 was, why did we bring across at the gable? So this time we clipped it. I'm trying to, it's hard
Mix it
to-
up a little bit.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
only
it's
talking about the
wonderful
form.
design.
Right, no, I
Yeah,
understand.
not the
Right.
upper.
Yeah,
Very nice design.
thank you.
Good luck. Motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the application of Weekapug Realty 1 LLC on Weekapug Road.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a good one. Thanks. Next application.
Next application is Kirsten
Jalga.
Jalga. Okay,
Jalga.
thank you.
Jim Hoffman from SBP New York on behalf of the owners. I was before you a few months ago when we got this house approved, and we've made some minor modifications to the window muntin configuration and also to the color of the shingles. Ripped off the board that I presented to you earlier today, the original version of the shingle and a version of the new shingle. Same red cedar, but this one is pre-dipped with a color on it that is called Cape Cod Gray. The window reconfigurations are pillowed on the plans that we submitted. Nothing drastic, just some minor changes that we decided to make while we were ordering the windows. But they're still a traditional look.
Brian, any comments?
No, I think it's an improvement actually, especially
Yeah.
up in the gables where you got rid of the
Little round
the
one.
oval
Little round
windows
ones,
and put
yes.
square ones in.
Yeah, it looks better.
Yes.
Simplified it. Yeah.
Christine? No issues?
No.
And you're doing 6/1s instead of
Yeah.
that's-
Correct.
So all your
Yeah.
lights are pretty much similar to each other now.
Correct.
So
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Any public comment on the application? Motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the application of Kirsten Zialga at 135 Cooper's Farm Road.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck. Concludes, concludes our public hearings for historic and non-historic. Informal discussion. Please step forward.
Robert Strada with Peconic Historic Preservation. Not-for-profit LLC dedicated to historic preservation here in the North and South Forks. And the last time we spoke, and I was last that night too, but the last time we spoke, questions were raised about how something could be done. How can the board act to designate an individual property as a landmark? So I decided to do a little investigation into that myself, and in the code, in the village code, under 65-3, this is under historic and landmark preservation, designation of landmarks and historic districts. But the key here for us is the designation of the landmark, an individual property, not trying to extend the historic district. The board may designate an individual property as a landmark if it, and then it lists 5 components or characteristics that would qualify it as a landmark. It's the first one that really interests us, and that is if it possesses special character or historic or aesthetic interest or value as part of the cultural, political, economic, or social history of the locality, region, state, or nation. And the other four, they're fine too, but that's the most important one. Because 22 Windmill Lane, as it's now known, as we all know, wasn't built at 22 Windmill Lane. That it is indeed the original 1760 Henry Rhodes house. And I won't drag the pictures out again because there's no one new here to see them. You know, we've all seen them before. So the idea is we'd like to get this ball rolling to identify this one property as a landmark, and wasn't quite sure how to do that. So I thought I'd come back and ask if you had any specific direction that we should be taking, because we'd like to do just that.
Well, the procedure for landmarking has to start with a public discussion where we have a series of posted and advertised discussion in an open forum with regards to the neighbors. Obviously, the owner of the property
Yes.
would have to be present as well, and we discuss the significance as well as the pros and cons for designation or non-designation. Ultimately, we then have a consultant also do a evaluation personally for the board's purposes, so that we have something in file which has his historical feedback on the property and his recommendation for designation, and then this board makes a decision. Is there anything that I've left out of that scenario?
No.
So, first things first is an official application for public hearing to discuss the matter.
And I'll make that application to the
Building
building
department.
department? In other words, to John Foster, submit an application for
A public hearing.
a public hearing. Fine. Very good.
My understanding is that this is an unusual occurrence, and I don't think there is, as there is with a normal building application or other applications, there is no form to fill out. There is no official procedure in that regard.
Sure.
It can be a
I
letter.
didn't
it can
see
be a
one,
letter
yes.
seeking, this. But because this so rarely occurs, there isn't a formal application material to fill out.
So you become our guinea pig.
Well, that's okay, Curtis, because you know we've been talking about this building for a very long time.
Yes, for the African American Museum, they did fill out a formal application for designation, which was.
Well, they made an application.
They made an application.
And then we let the
I-
public come and
So
they
it
spoke.
would be a duplicate of that procedure.
Mhm.
The procedure,
You could go to the African American Museum
Right.
file and see what.
I
the
can,
document is.
exactly,
And see
or I'll
what
just ask Brenda,
instigated.
right?
You can
No.
just ask Brenda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go
That's
talk to
fine,
Brenda.
okay. So we'll use that as sort of the template to get this started.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, we'll do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex, very much.
It's an informal application, doesn't need to be adjourned. What we have now are minutes from March 14th, 27th, 13th, 27th, and April 10th. All members here, correct?
All the members that are here.
Okay.
Just Hammond was asking.
March 13th, everyone had the opportunity to review. Questions, comments, concerns, errors, or omissions? Motion to approve, March 13th,
Make a
2013.
motion that we approve the minutes from March 13th, 2013.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes from March 27th, everyone had the opportunity to review. Questions, comments, concerns, or changes? Motion to approve the minutes from the 27th.
Now, was I at that, there was one meeting that
I have you down for all of
I had
them.
to leave
But you were present.
at the very beginning.
She left in the middle
I
of it.
left-
That was the 27th.
Okay, but you were present.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for March 27th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And April 10th. All my members were present.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I make a motion we approve the minutes for April 10th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just in a correction, the next meeting is May 8th. I know the agenda says May 22nd, but it is May 8th. So for record, we make sure that we indicate that change. Motion to close April 24th, 2013 meeting
Make
of
a motion that we
Architectural.
close the meeting of the Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation for April 24th, 2013.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.